And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the final match of the ESL Challenger League for North America Open Qualifiers. The next time you'll see anybody or any of these teams will be in the closed qualifiers, but we do have quite a bit of a production team to get through, so we're going to do that really quick, and then we'll talk about the teams that we have. Of course, observing still for us will be Ted Meister. He's been doing a brilliant job throughout the 2 days I've been working with him. And then with me on the mic will be Brycer and Cash. How are you lads doing?
Good. I'm excited for this one. Coastline is always a fast-paced map usually, so should be some fun multi-kills or stuff like that.
Absolutely. Cannot complain for the pickup we have today. Run it back versus Ōkami. Definitely two valid teams putting in valiant effort and looking forward to the round for round, body for body play we're about to see.
Yeah, and well, let's get into the teams. We have Run It Back versus Ōkami. Both of these teams have been varying level of success, but overall have been done very well. We've followed Ōkami quite a few times now in these qualifiers, as well as Run It Back. We've seen both of these teams play, and both of them have had really solid games that we've seen.
Yeah, obviously to be at this point, you do have to be a strong team. Looks like we're about to start, so it'll be interesting to see the operator bans and such. I'm hoping for some more structured play as well, although Coastline can tend to dissolve into individual plays and things like that. But usually the team with more trade potential and better utility usage will come out on top. So we'll see what happens now.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, we've already brought it up, but I do want to kind of talk about how Run It Back will be on defense. And while Coastline's one of those maps where it isn't wildly one way or the other in terms of defense versus attackers, the bans can affect it from time to time. So, what do we expect to see from the ban phase?
Well, from my perspective, obviously, Coastline Nomad is a rather common ban. Hibana here is probably one of the weirder bans on Coastline, though very understandable because you don't need a hard breach. But basically, this necessitates running no hard breach whatsoever. We could even see a penthouse defense. Often that's why you ban a Hibana. Ōkami banning Lion is rather interesting. Suggests that they're ready for the aggressive plays on Run It Back, and the Lion obviously aids those aggressive plays. So removing that is a smart choice. Maestro here being the defender ban, a rather common ban, does make defending much easier on Coastline, especially with lots of smoke executes. So if you're doing smoke executes, Maestro obviously being the direct counter to that. Maestro Echo ban's incredibly common. With Echo gone, we probably won't see an IQ very much unless one of the teams is consistently running Valkyrie. But these are fairly standard bans, with the Lion ban being a bit of an outlier. But Coastline is probably one of the maps where you can ban Lion to a large effect. I'm really interested to see if we do see a penthouse defense. Obviously, very uncommon, but sometimes that is why you ban Hibana.
Okay, so I did get the bans up on the map band, so we should be able to see everything. And we're going to be going to Hookah Billiards first, which is really no surprise if you've been following the Siege scene for any chunk of time, as Coastline's normally a pretty hookah-centric, because even if you're playing double bar, you're really holding hookah, because the vertical play is something you really have to be aware of, because if you're not and you're defending it, all the attackers have to do is secure the top floor in hookah, and they can pretty much control Sunrise.
Yeah, obviously the Ying pick there being six picked onto suggests that they're going to be doing like a red bar below push and then pushing into hookah. Obviously, that's not the only way you can use Ying, but rather effective because you can use Ying to flash off cool vibes. You can use Ying to flash over hatch on hookah, and push in rather aggressively. So that is what I expect to see. Although I'm sure they could change it up depending on what defensive setup they see. Especially on the defensive side, no big surprises. Doc, very useful for those long angles. Jaeger, obviously very important. They're going to have to burn those ADSs if they want to use the Ying effectively. And Mozzie, Coastline is one of the best maps for Mozzie due to lots of the small corridors and tight choke points where a Mozzie drone can delay a team for many seconds.
And Cash, don't think you're going to be able to escape without giving us a little bit of insight as to what we're going to be seeing. What do you think about going into hookah for this very first round?
So going hookah for the first round, I think is a make or break for especially how the play style of the teams are, because of the fact it is such a tightly, I'll say just spacious site for lack of better words. I mean the square footage is at a minimal. Benji will pick up the first elimination. That's going to be Ebonai getting a little bit too aggressive, but it makes or breaks truly because a well coordinated team and execution is a breeze. So taking that into account, you really do need to make sure that everything is in order with the strat that you're sticking with. You've got you see Shuttle playing underneath here. Later on, he may rotate with the Nitro Cell underneath the counter. Any late phase executions going on. You really just it forces awareness this site because you've got so many angles you need to watch from square rooftop all the way onto base. You've got ruins, which is easily accessible for attackers from spawn. VIP can open up the hard breach wall via the X Kairos's exothermic charge or blowtorch, and really, if you're not aware, it's one that will quickly punish you. But if you are solidified and coordinated, it's one that will prosper.
Yeah, something I
Yeah,
wanted to pick up on here is, sorry to interrupt, that was just the Ying, obviously, outside on Hookah Balcony. Looks like they're going to do a VIP and Aqua split, with maybe the Ying trying to flash into, so the plant can go down effectively. Ash pushing into Aqua. I assume they've droned below because the Mozzie was playing there below. So with the Valkyrie up, a C4 is very possible. But I think, yes, Mozzie right here is being called and is probably going to push below for a C4. We'll see if the attackers are aware of this. If you want to take it from here, Cash.
Absolutely. Maz is going to be rotating on over to looks to be the office area. This can be a free nitro onto the Ash here, and it's going to open up and support Smoke, who's kind of by his lonesome, and he will. And that's going to be 2 eliminations for the defenders right now as Fozo picks up his first. Refrag will occur from Carnage. Fozo picking up another one. Vandal taking out Prompted. It's all up to Kilo. The Dokkaebi sitting at 100 HP can win one-on-one engagements. There's 2 bodies on Cool Vibes peeking him. He's going to be all by himself, kind of pinned, and Run It Back will pull out the first round.
Yeah, not unexpected there. I think once the Mozzie got that C4 from below, suddenly the attackers really have to worry about below. They either have to choose to push in aggressively or wait to be shotgunned from below by the Mozzie, especially with the intel. Of going for the plant with someone below is never going to work out, so they had to push in. But the defenders read that really well, expected it, held their angles, and hit some nice shots, leaving basically the attackers with no idea what to do. And in the 1v3, the Dokkaebi could do almost nothing, especially with the SMG sidearm taking those long range gunfights onto Cool Vibes. It's almost impossible to win those.
and at risk of stepping on the toes of our resident siege genius, we will be going to kitchen, which means we'll probably see a lot of vertical play coming out from both of these teams. Coastline, one of those maps just overall where the vertical play is something you're really going to have to be careful of. And so much so that I believe the other day we actually saw a buck ban on this, or it was either this or Villa. I don't quite recall, but a buck ban I feel wouldn't be amiss either. The only thing is that the sledge would also be a big deal, which neither of which going to be on the board for this attacking lineup from Ōkami. So what do you think they're going to be able to do to kind of supplement their soft destruction capabilities?
Well, from my perspective, obviously you should have breaching charges on IQ, and then possibly breaching charges and the launchers from both Zofia and Ash. So they won't lack for soft destruction. The only problem here is that obviously the breaching charge gives away exactly where you're making holes above, but they have plenty of it. So if they can get above control here and start cutting off the lines of rotation, then the access into site is much easier. Obviously, from above, you can hold the rotation in kitchen that's behind the bomb, and you can also take control of bathroom, leaving a kitchen door plant very possible. I'll be interested to see if the Dokkaebi is running smokes this time. She was running nades before, because smoke plants are very possible, especially with Maestro off the board. Although, so far it seems like they're more interested in pushing in for getting kills rather than going for the plant. Yes, Dokkaebi still has grenades, so no smoke plants here, which could be a big issue if you don't get those frags. It relies heavily on getting those kills, especially early round, taking the control above, getting a couple of picks, and then pushing into sight for kills. I expect if a plant goes down, it's going to be due to defender error rather than attacker info. Obviously, the IQ actually just saw someone, a Mozzie, on drone there and didn't realize, but Fozzo getting a pick on Benji, that's super important. The Ash off the board, much less soft destruction now, and now they really have to be aware of lobby.
Yeah, it's less soft destruction, and the Doc was able to heal himself up back to essentially 100, and the vertical control is still going to be in the favor, I believe, of Run It Back, as I believe they had one of the operators still up in VIP area. I can't recall, but at this point you've wasted half the round, so you could conceivably fall back and not necessarily lose it. But with a double roam upstairs still, they're going to play it for all it's worth, and so far it's so good for them, as Ab and I are going to be watching the 90 cam playing on the Jaeger. He's going to have to be a little careful, rather, watching for the drones. If he's droned out, he's in a halfway vulnerable spot. So he does have to be a little careful, as now Prompt are going to be watching towards the double doorway of courtyard. So it's going to be a really interesting prep so far, as we're going to be nearing in on 1 minute left in the round.
Yeah, obviously, Kilo getting that key pick onto shuttle there with Ōkami. It's an impressive shot with the DMR. Now they can start thinking about the execute. It does look like, because they have balcony control, that they can go for the push directly into kitchen without too much worry. This angle from Doc, he sees the gun barrel, and this could be a free kill. With the Jaeger doubling up, they can play for refrags here. It looks like the defenders have a really good grasp on this. We're going to see if the attackers can win their gunfights here.
Absolutely. As we approach the... No, you go ahead.
Okay, so I'll take this one. 30 seconds left in the round. Fozo's going to get in a little bit of a scuffle with the IQ near kitchen doorway. As I think that's Prompt getting a pick on a Randall, as Fozo immediately refragging back onto Lame, and it'll be a 3v3 now with 19 seconds left. Somebody sitting right on the kitchen doorway is Prompted, seeing the head of the player in hallway, but the plan's going to be going down now as Abinai getting the pick on a flag. That'll be the diffuser down, and IQ is really lit as well. Kilo not going to be able to do much in this round. It's going to be Carnage getting a pick to finish off Kilo, as Prompted getting one on a Fozo. That'll be the dock off the board and soul up. As Run It Back will win round 2, as Prompted unable to secure the pick, and Carnage will be the one to put the nail in the coffin for round 2.
Yeah, they seem to lack a central plan there. There was good opportunities there for the attackers. They obviously had opened up the angle, and they were controlling luggage. So hopping in the window there, kitchen window, and going for the plant was very possible. The IQ actually did jump in and start going for the plant, but lost some of her cover, so she had to become gun up. And eventually they had to push in for frags. And again, similar to last round, the defenders were ready for it. They seemed to be over peaking a little bit on attack. They didn't let the plant progress, so no one was really covering it. Now, apparently, the attacker's solution is to bring Twitch to win more gunfights, and Buck, obviously, to aid in that soft destruction. This is a good read. They know that they're going blue bar. That's why they're bringing the Buck. Hopefully the top control can be better achieved by the attackers now, because there was a severe lack of it in the previous rounds. You didn't see much pressure from above, meaning the defenders had free roam in the site. They could peek, throw utility without any pressure, which is part of the reason they won so easily the last couple of rounds.
Yeah, and I think you did bring up the Twitch pick, and Kilo on it. Kilo has been a player who we've seen able to frag in the past, but he's definitely not one of the players known as like Vertical or Kanto. He doesn't have that reputation, but I certainly feel that he does have the potential for it. He just hasn't been able to get that kind of notoriety yet.
Yeah, obviously, a long time ago, I coached a team where we briefly played with Kilo, and his gun skill is really, really impressive. At the time, his weakness was a slight lack of communication, but from what I've been hearing, he's really improved on that aspect, and hopefully he can use the Twitch to its full potential here. Obviously, there's not much that the Twitch's actual drone will be good for. Maybe getting some ADSs and maybe getting a couple of Mozzie pests here and there, although it is rather risky to try and get Mozzie pests with a Twitch drone, because if you lose that Twitch drone to Mozzie, then there's a lot more intel for the defenders, and it's a big risk to be using a Twitch with a Mozzie on the board. So we'll see what he can do with the gun, which I think is definitely the most important part of Twitch right now.
Yeah, before I cash back into this, I just find it interesting that we have two coaches, or two former coaches of Kilo. It's just a little funny. Oh, Cash, you can have it now.
Oh, absolutely. I do find it entertaining myself. A good call on, saying that the pest launcher does act as a preventative measure from any drones being able to relay information. We're going to see a very tight constriction here. Speaking of, a lot of communication is necessary at this moment, because we've seen Ōkami get punished from the nitro cell underneath. However, that was coming from Shuttle. He's just going to be absolutely collapsed upon, but Vandal will be there to support him, and that's Prompted that will fall. The Zofia can no longer concuss. Shuttle will pick up one. Benji will immediately refrag. It's already a 2v4 in the way of Run It Back. Abinai will pick up one. That is Benji that will fall. Abinai will be killed by Flak. IQ takes some damage as Flak at 3/4 health. They're going to be kind of fighting here between VIP, but a rotation to Guitar will occur. 2v3 with 100 HP for every remaining member of Run It Back. I feel like they can kind of come out of this with a win. They are giving up a lot of the vertical opposition here. That is going to be necessary for for Ōkami to get going on an execution, at least fathomably speaking. With a minute left on the round, they've got nothing but room to play with. Vigil maybe looking here to make the rotate back upstairs, see if he can get a free pick. You know, one of the easy overexposures, the lack of drones, the lack of flank coverage. There is no air jabs to supplement anymore. There's no stingers from Gridlock, nothing of that matter to prevent that from occurring. Carnage has been an absolute menace with the SMG. Sorry, choked on air for just quite a second, and I feel as if Flat gets a little bit too aggro here on the angles he's holding up. He will be sufficiently punished here by Carnage.
Yeah, we are going to be nearing the final 30 seconds of this round, and the 2v3 advantage is still going to be in the favor of Run It Back at this point. Esposo getting really aggressive onto the Twitch. It'll be Kilo off the board. The former teammates in a battle of two very solid guns. Is Flat going to be getting the pick on the smoke, but the immediate refrag, and I want to emphasize immediate there, coming out from Vandal right back onto the player playing Cool Vibes.
Yeah, obviously, that round they finally did take top floor control, but it was with 25 seconds left and only a couple of IQ breaching charges to make anything work. You saw that they almost did get some picks through those holes above, so you wonder if they still had the buck on the board or something like that, they could have applied more pressure and then maybe gone for the plant on sofas or somewhere. So this was, again, they're finally getting to the point where they're taking above control, but with very little time left and your most important soft destruction in Buck gone, it wasn't used very effectively. And we've had 3 defensive rounds on a row, so going back to hookah billiards, they're bringing out the Blackbeard, so they are really focusing on winning these gunfights. They now have a Twitch and a Blackbeard, 2 operators with little utility at all, and are primarily focused on winning gunfights. The Blackbeard is either probably going to be playing on Big Window, or he's going to be playing on Aqua Balcony, holding that long angle, waiting for the defenders to peek and getting free kills. We'll see if it works out. Now they have almost no utility beyond the soft destruction of Buck, which is only useful below if they take below control, and the Zofia utility. It is plenty to win around, but I like you can definitely see the attitude they have with that pick of Twitch and Blackbeard.
Yeah, and I don't know if you brought it up, and you might have. I have been busy also policing the stream, just making sure everything looks good for you guys, but they have successfully completed a full defensive rotation now, and that obviously means that they can go back to their primary site, which they won in round 1 in a very convincing fashion. It was like a 1v4, 1v3, I'm pretty sure, with the Dokubi left. I believe that was Kilo as well. And while he's not going to be playing Dokubi this time, option to go back for the Twitch. We saw a very bloody battle for vertical control, but where the battle happened last round is going to be where the site is now. So the defenders are going to have to hold it even longer, but at this point they have more defensive setup and defensive utility there to support them.
Yeah, obviously, the Mozzie getting a C4 last round, which really changed the shape. Last time they played the site, which really changed the shape of the round. So we'll see if the attackers are more prepared for it this time. Benji playing on the roof here, looking for any free kills. Hopefully won't be offered up to him by the defenders, because that would definitely be a mistake. Here's Twitch's definite utility, clearing out those Mozzie pests. Really smart play from Kilo, slightly misplaced Mozzie drone, and he loses his drone to Mozzie. He immediately takes it, but I'm not sure they're aware someone is in toilets. This could be a huge play from Shuttle here if he does not get droned. Hopefully the Twitch will see him now. It does not look like Twitch is droning him. I did see one other drone that could have droned him, or Shuttle gets found. So he's going to have to play a little more aggressively now. He pushes into Hall of Fame. This is super aggressive. He sees one on the drone. He sees another one on the drone. This is incredible play from Shuttle. Someone should have been watching that. How was there not a Claymore on the door? This is really a huge mistake, and with Twitch and Zofia off the board, the attacker has floundered.
That was just funny. Shuttle goes out there and is a little bit shocked as to what he sees, just 2 players chilling on drones, and like you said, there should have been some kind of utility there to prevent the double kill coming out from Shuttle. And it's one of those things as you look back on them and you slap yourself on the head, but I mean, at the end of the day, you can only prepare for what you're aware of, and they droned him out, but I don't believe that they were expecting him to actually go so far ahead, like to push into him. As far as Shuttle on the triple kill, on the quad kill now, Shuttle is putting this team on his back. He's up against Benji now. It's going to be the Blackbeard versus the Mozzie, and the C4 coming out, so all the Mozzie has to do, but no! Shuttle The ace denied by Benji, and with 40 seconds left and 1 HP. It is truly the 1 HP in a dream scenario now for the Blackbeard, as he has 4 100 HP operators to find and eliminate, and he does not have, or I stand corrected, he does actually have the diffuser, but now the vertical play coming through the floor, as you do see the bullet tracers, and with 20 seconds left, the round is all but over, and this will be a 4-0 split on the defensive half for Run It Back, unless we see some late round heroics.
It does seem to be looking like Blackbeard is they're using it as a tactical timeout almost, just to talk about what's going wrong. They really need to change some stuff up. That the Shuttle double kill, obviously well played by Shuttle to push aggressively after he was droned. Quite often, people droning, once they drone a shot, they'll assume that the defender will have run away. He instead of pushed into Hall of Fame, runs outside, he sees 2 people on their drone, just quite a few errors there from the attackers, but Shuttle capitalizing excellently, picking up 2 more kills there. He jumps from 2 kills to 6 kills with that just 1 round. If he can keep up those kind of plays, then this could be a rather quick game.
And say, I do want to notate that we are sitting at a 4-0 score, and earlier you touched base on the fact that this map is so equivocal in scoring, statistically speaking, attacker v defender advantage. And this map did, I believe it was Sayano, our previous broadcaster on Monday, did bring us the actual stat, and it was what, 49% to 50% for attacker defender advantage. And notating that the fact that it's at a 4-0 and it's been pretty, it's been I want to say like clean sweep in each time, or at least speaking in terms of time advantage, map domination, how far you get into an actual legit execution. None of it seems to be kind of cooperating or cohesive amongst the line of Ōkami as of right now, and it's something that surprises me because it's an aggressive team versus another aggressive team. You'd think it would be an unstoppable force meets an immovable object, but right now, Run It Back just seems to be on their game at the moment.
And what you
Yeah.
did say, oh, sorry, I don't mean to step on your toes, Bryce.
Go
Why
ahead.
don't you go ahead?
Okay, well, I was just going to note a couple of things, which is, as you said, none of these rounds have looked particularly close so far, maybe the closest being the first round. Obviously, Coastline is a map where it can just shift very quickly. If the attackers can figure out some of their communication a little bit better, or some of their strategies aren't just working, they can switch them up. This could very easily start swinging the other way. And obviously, with teams that haven't had much time to practice together, and obviously lots of roster moves, I can't recall the last roster move for either of these teams, but I assume quite a few. It's rather hard to build that cohesion. So hopefully, the defense from Ōkami will definitely improve now. So after the split, so this should be an opportunity for them to push forward. Obviously, those stats about the side splits are from Pro League, where teams have had months, sometimes years, to build that cohesion.
Yeah, and I do want to bring up on the topic of stats, so we sound big brain casters. Ōkami is sitting with playing this map 3 times at a 33% win rate, so that is 1 out of 3. Do you like that math, Cash?
But, you know what? I support it.
Run It Back, from the stats I've seen, might not have even played it at all this qualifier. At least qualifier 5. I haven't gone back and looked at the other qualifiers, which means Ōkami might have played it right into the hands of Run It Back now, as Ab and I getting a pick on a prompted. And it's going to be another one for Shuttle, as the Ma's able to get a pick onto Benji, but that'll be Kilo on the Zofia getting the immediate refrag now. But in a correction, 2v3, as Flat going to be going huge with the double. It's going to be up to Vandal now to try to regain a little bit of a close contest, but he isn't going to be able to secure that, as Lehman going to be losing a bit of his HP for the trouble there on main stairs, and they're going to be going for the vertical play now.
Yeah, a couple of things to note with a minute left. They have top control, so hopefully they can use this to the best advantage. Jackal there almost letting his teammate die, but getting the kill in the end. This is a very winnable 2v3 for the defenders. Smoke on the board can delay plant for almost the rest of the round, plus that C4 from Valkyrie. I think the attackers are probably going to have to push for kills here, or hope that the defenders use their utility very poorly.
Absolutely, and we approach the final phase of the round. We are at the 30-second mark, and with the 3v2, it's doable on both sides. Now, if they allow Run It Back to, get another round. That's a 5-0. That's going to be huge and pivotal for the match overall. Vandal looks to be rotating on over the main lobby, kind of split off from his remaining teammate of Carnage. But Flat going on for the execution. It's already halfway throughout the plant. And one of the first beauty cancer, or sorry, the last one will go on out. And Carnage will be picked up from the vertical place. That's Layman. They're supporting his teammate. Vandal will eliminate Kilo. The diffuser does go on down. Vandal running out, successfully landing some shots there. They will connect, however, not 100% win out the fights. Vandal sitting here tight with a nitro cell, tossing on up, will not successfully eliminate Layman, who's just kind of sitting pretty upstairs penthouse. He does not need to contest, does not need to overexpose, but will win out the round by eliminating Vandal as he picks up Carnage.
That's exactly what a little bit of vertical play can do. That they've really been lacking it. As soon as they get it with a bit of time left, they cut off the rotations in kitchen. They get some picks from above, and the round is fairly easily won from there. If they had been doing that earlier, I believe they would have picked up many more rounds. It's nice to see it. I hope it's not too late for them.
Yeah, and what we've seen now is Layman, who was having a bit of a struggle in the early part of this game, waking up a bit with a double kill in the end, playing the vertical control. He was on the Jackal, so he was able to shut off the roam a bit, but him actually being able to secure the final 2 picks is probably going to be a little bit of a confidence booster as we're nearing the end of the defensive half for Run It Back.
Yeah, I don't see too many surprises in the operator selection here, but as I say that, Thinker, as far as I can see, is now on the board. This is really interesting. I assume this is for an aggressive play because with smoke on the board, Thinker's obviously a risk. So this seems to be a rather... I assume they're going to push upstairs very aggressively, or this is some kind of rush strat. Thinker obviously not played very often at all, although on Coastline, where gunfights are super important, she can be very useful, but often you take other operators instead. There's Ying, like Jackal's obviously been taken, but Blackbeard, all of these kind of operators often offer more. So I just want to see how they use this Thinker because it's rather interesting. I hope there's something cool up their sleeve.
Yeah, what we're going to be seeing now as we get into the action phase is a pretty standard setup. The vertical control is still a big proponent of whether or not the defender is going to be able to win this. And last time we saw a huge battle where we lost, I think, in a span of 10 seconds, 3 players from the combined teams total. It was like 3 to 4. And basically what that meant is that when the man count went in the favor of Run It Back after that big battle for the top floor control, basically meant that they had won the round because they did forfeit the top floor control, but when you bring down so many of the opposing players, it's not really that much of an issue anymore.
Yeah, they also wasted a lot of time. So obviously the Vigil here brought out to waste time as well. Coastline is a map where Vigil can be, if played well, can be devastating. But often with the Jackal on the board, the Vigil should be countered pretty hard here. Let's see if the Jackal can pick up the Vigil's footsteps. I do not believe that... Oh, that is Vigil. So Vigil suddenly has to worry about Jackal tracking him. There's 2 tracks left, so obviously fairly fresh footprints. Let's see if they can capitalize on these Vigil tracks.
Yeah, and we are going to be nearing the 1 minute and 50 mark, so all 5 players are going to be alive for both of these teams, and it's going to be a fairly slow round as we do see Shuttle using his utility as he did catch a drone somewhere that was not able to get picked off quick enough as prompted now. In South Hallway, just trying to push into Agua to secure anybody who is spinning a little too aggressively into Billiards, but at the moment he's not going to be able to find anything as we edge into the second half of the round.
Absolutely. Here we have Finka prompted pushing on into Aqua. Now, previously punished portion of the map with a nitro cell from Shuttle underneath. Does not look to be as if that's going to be the same consequences to this push, but Benji will pick up the first. That's Abinai will fall. Prompted there to support him. Shuttle will also be eliminated. That's all the verticality right now that Run It Back has to offer. It's going to be all up to the anchors and the depth roamers such as Vandal right now. So Bozo holding Harry Potter at the bottom of Cool Vibes, an interesting position given the fact that nades are going to be a factor in this. There's a lot of flashbangs. There's a lot of utility still on the board remaining for them to continue to get something going on. With 45 seconds left into the round, it gives the attackers nothing but room to play here, playing on with angles and really just squeezing in what positioning they have. Flack will get another follow-up kill. That's going to be Fozo now off the board. 2v5 with 30 seconds left. Now, Carnage is left with one of his remaining smoke canisters left. Vandal will pick up an excellent shot onto Lemon. That's the Jackal, and the smokes no longer viable for Ōkami at this moment. Prompted will fall, and Finka can't pick himself up as the same as Doc is able to do so. Flack trying to look for a quick follow-up here is not able to successfully win out that gunfight. All up to Vandal, though, as Carnage will fall to Kilo. The attackers do have blue or pink bar, and Ōkami will win out this round.
Yeah, obviously, again, a great example of how the top floor control can be super important. They take top floor control and it really restricts where the defenders can play. Something to note, which is I'm not sure if people are aware, but you can actually get an angle to Harry Potter. Well, some areas of Harry Potter, the more aggressive angles that Doc was playing, you can get an angle in there if you open up from around the pool table area between billiards room and aqua. If you open up that wall, then open up the floor in just right next to the wall, you can actually get an angle into Harry Potter if they play that aggressively, which Doc was. They didn't seem to be aware of it. It didn't matter in the end. I just thought it was something interesting. They didn't seem to be aware of that. It would have provided a free kill, but in the end, they killed the Doc anyway, and the round was won from there.
Brycer with the big brain plays. As we do see an Ella coming out. Does anybody want to explain exactly what the impact of Ella we might see in this round, just due to the recent buff she's gotten?
She's really good.
Thank you, Brycer, everyone.
Yeah, look. Obviously, Ella's gun now being really powerful again is important. The stuns are useful. With the IQ on the board, you shouldn't be being stunned, but it does force the defenders. The defenders can play more aggressive because of the Ella. If you hear that stun go off, you've got a pretty winnable gunfight there. I would like to see some Ella Zofia gunfights because the stuns wearing off more quickly for the other often creates a really interesting dynamic. I'm interested to see where the other Ella plays and with what gun, because some really cool strats I've seen. Oh, she's going for a run out. Some really cool strats I've seen involve Ella playing on Cool Vibe stairs with a shotgun. Seems there's 2 runouts from the defenders here, neither picking up anything, but you can see how they're going to play this defense. Really aggressive, obviously with the Doc, Mozzie, Ella, and Jaeger, all operators capable of getting huge amounts of kills. It should be a really interesting round to see.
Yeah, and what we've seen so far is 2 aggressive runouts that neither of which are going to be able to secure even the slightest of HP. As now we're going to be starting to get into the execute onto the VIP side, as we do actually see the drone catch one out on the rotation. It's going to be Benji and Mozzie. Going to be just chilling, as Prompted going to be playing in theater, trying to get an angle. And he does actually have a drone, so that's going to be really good for Prompted, as he just has a mobile default cam at that point. And as we have 1 minute out of the round, we will have everybody still on the board, and they will drone out where the Jaeger is now, so it's going to be really good for them. And with our 1 minute down, nothing really happening except for the Sledge losing a bit of HP.
Absolutely, and here we have all the attackers kind of collapsing in on the penthouse and VIP portion of the map, seeing as if to whether or not they can get the easy pick onto Jaeger, but with the supplemental help from the Mozzie close by, it's going to be I think a body for body push here. The roam clear is not all the basic one, that they're solidifying a hold and they are playing it for life, it seems. So Benji's going to be holding on the angle to bathroom as an attacker who's going to be joining themselves on through. Lemon there to supplement as well. Shots will be exchanged. However, coming out and losing his life as Fozo will be there to effectively close out the kill. Taking some shots up himself. Body and Hookah will peek him out through. Shuttle will eliminate Benji. It's Prompted now, the only person on the side, or the only defender on the side of 90 that can contest theater.
Yeah, and it's going to be this whether or not the defense are able to pull this back is all up to whether or not Prompted gets a pick here. And he's going to get the down on 1, but now he has 2 players to deal with. Cooling in a really good pinch as Vandal able to secure the pick with the SMG 11, as 2 players are going to be down now, so it's going to be 2 players with very little HP. Kilo, the Doc, which would have been a very good answer to the low HP if he was an attacker. But he's just going to be chilling in Hookah, one of the lone defenders left alive. And as Flack able to get a pick on a Carnage, will be one of the players off the board. Both of the players off the board. Flack with the double kills. Now it's a 2v3 as Kilo able to get another one, almost on the second one onto Fozo, but they're both going to be sitting about half HP, the 2 attackers, together making about 1 full operator. Fozo with a crazy flank, And of course, my stream freezes out right at the wrong time, but it's Kilo able to secure the pick. It's all up to Vandal now as Kilo has rotated back into Hookah. Does he seem to know where he went? It's all up to Vandal now. He doesn't have the diffuser. Flack is probably watching the diffuser. He's going to swing back into the Hookah Pika. He isn't going to get the kill. Kilo with the triple, I believe, on the round. And really solid first defensive round in the favor of Ōkami.
Yeah, Smoke won that round basically single-handedly. Obviously, all the damage done made the combination of the SMG-11 and the shotgun deadly. He gets 2 picks with the SMG-11. It forces the attackers to rotate away from him. He doesn't end up dying. They have to worry about their flanks. That was superb play. Actually, may have been the mute. I can't remember. It was a shotgun SMG-11 combo at close range, close on a door. He gets 2 picks. I almost called that the defenders were going to win that round because you could just see the HP, you could see the time, and you could see the positioning of the Smoke on mute. And in the end, I think the attackers basically didn't play for trades very well. You see them try to trade on the Smoke, but they didn't have any utility to push the player out of position, so ended up getting picked twice. This round, we're seeing a gridlock on the board, which is definitely a change-up. With no Capital ban, I think I would have rather see the Capital than the gridlock, or the gridlock is immense at holding flanks as well.
And
yeah, sorry, just to be informed that it was a Smoke, so that was superb play by the Smoke there. I think those kind of plays win rounds, and they could really be a momentum shift. It looked like the attackers were going to go up 5-2, which is very hard to recover from. Now it's 4-3. They need one more round, and it's tied up, and this match could go anywhere now.
yeah,
And I like that you keep mentioning the pick of Capital, because we really haven't seen a solid execution from either teams. Now, of course, Ōkami is now on their second round of defense, but the smoke, the firebolts would just be more inadequate for the positions that we keep seeing on this map and the sites that are reoccurring. So I don't know if it's a lack of utility wanting to be utilized, if they're depending on the mechanical over the methodical pushes here, but not even smokes are really being utilized, whether or not it's coming out of a bolt itself.
Yeah, you see Jackal throwing out 2 drones here. Often you do that in case someone sees one of your drones and shoots it. You can immediately switch onto the other drone in case they try and run out on you. It's smart play. I'm not sure whether it was deliberate or not, but the fact he has both there means it's rather easy to do. It does look like Mozzie did get a drone there. So hopefully Mozzie can put that to good use. So far, this attack seems to be focused around lobby area with lots of above control trying to be taken. With the Doc and the Rook on the board, you're going to see lots of gunfights being taken, and this round could very well come down to those 2 operators. Fozo being taken down a little bit, obviously Doc, so he can heal himself back up. It didn't look like Abunai knew what he was shooting at, so he couldn't finish the kill.
yeah, and we are going to be edging into the second half of the round. A shuttle going to start us off well with the pick on a layman. That'll be the Mozzie off the board. So any drones that they did have is now going to be locked in position as Kilo with a really solid angle all the way towards lobby. But shuttle getting the second one is going to get down and immediately finish as Kilo and Flack able to get 2, equaling the man count, leveling it rather, with a minute and 20 left. So within 10 seconds, everything has just gone down the drain as we will lose 4 players. And the plant is actually being snuck in blue bar. Nobody seems to be in position to actually counter this. And they seem to know that it's happening, but nobody's there to secure it. It's going to be Flack dropping down, getting the pick on the Carnage as Kilo able to get a second one. That is a double kill for him on the round, and he's got a... I'm sorry, I thought that we were still watching Kilo's perspective at that point. I'm like, he's shooting his own teammate, and it's going to be prompted now, the Doc versus the Gridlock. The Gridlock at very little HP, and it seems like Prompted's going to stick this. Oh, but Fozo able to win it, and a little bit of suspense there for you guys as the 1v3 clutch. Fozo, ice in his veins, able to win it.
Prompted asking the HP. Yeah, well, when you see the Gridlock in lobby with the plant behind blue bar, Gridlock just has to stay alive, and when the plant goes down, when the plant's down, you can just peek when needed. The gunfight versus the Jaeger was the gunfight that Jaeger needed to win that round. Really well played by the Gridlocks, hitting some nice shots there, and fantastic plant positioning and awareness from the Gridlock to know that he could deny plant from lobby pretty much the whole time. Fozo saying 30 HP. I seem to remember it being lower than that, but whatever seems right. But a fantastic play from the Gridlock there.
Yeah, and It's interesting because it was pretty much a stealth plant at that point. They kind of snuck it in, and by the time Ōkami knew what was happening, they were already in a disadvantageous position and weren't able to re-secure the round. Even though they got all the frags they needed to make it possible, Fozo, who was just the better man in the round that day, was able to secure not one, not two, but three. And that will be the match point round in the favor of Run It Back at this point.
Yeah, obviously they've liked the idea of the Rook and the Doc. It almost worked out for them last round, but they seem to be taking these longer range gunfights with the Echo and the Maestro off the board. That's like Doc and Rook are like substitutes are quite often for those operators. I would probably like to see a Valkyrie as well. Obviously, the IQ shutting those Valk cams down effectively, so they've decided not to run it. But these two operators are based purely on fragging. Maybe the bulletproof being run for a little bit extra intel. But it's exciting to see because they can so effectively take those long range gunfights that sometimes the attackers aren't aware of. And exactly what I was talking about, Kilo taking that long range gunfight to outside of lobby. You do not want to be peeking that with a holographic sight. So obviously Kilo confident in his ability to win that gunfight. Ash puts Kilo down slightly low HP. G36 at this range, you got to be hitting headshots, and Kilo ready for the Ash to push in.
It's now going to be a main lobby centric push again, as well as last time we saw an emphasis on office as well. So it's pretty much a south by southeast push. And while the Ash is going to fire back in towards kitchen, the player running by isn't actually going to be able to get anything. And it's going to be sitting at a 5v5. And just as I say that, I've caster cursed Benji into death as Shuttle not getting one but two again with the double kill as off screen prompted, able to get the clutch master off the board and Flak. Evening. He's definitely evening, not eviling man count back at 3 in the HP, slightly, just ever so slightly in the favor of now Ōkami as prompted, able to get a pick on a Carnage, who hasn't been going as big as we've seen him in the earlier days of this qual.
Yeah, obviously Carnage, an incredibly smart player, not having the impact he would desire, but quite often those really smart players struggle on coastline because so much of it does come down to 1v1 gunfights. The Doc taking the Rook taking the fight on the Zofia, he turns away at the wrong time. The timing there was really lucky for Abanai. I think he probably would have won that gunfight, but now he's being shot through bullet holes, peeked from lobby. This is a superb crossfire, and Vandal, he has almost nothing he can do there. About 20 HP, and he gets taken out from lobby. This is a really, really good round from the defenders. The crossfire setup were impeccable. He had to peek 2 or 3 angles at once and eventually just gets flanked from behind. That was really impressive stuff. Flat getting the final kill there. This game could go the way. It looks like it's shaping out to go that way.
So, Cash, why don't you break down exactly what we've seen thus far?
What we've seen thus far, I feel like it's not a lot of utility or full-fledged executions. I feel like it's been a lot of individual plays that keep winning the round. Now, refrags are coming out. The secondary fraggers are doing their work, but it's been pretty much body for body, engagement, one-on-one. And whether or not the shots are connecting, I feel like is what determines the fate of the round entirely. I do want to know what impeccable timing for Abanai as Rook had to rotate on over to Courtyard as he progressed on through main lobby, but I'm not seeing any, we did see the plant go down by just the slightest graces of, the deity, the Chanka, but dearly and truly, there has not been a lot of successful attempts to get it down and have the round almost play around the diffuser being established. So I think it's going to continue to fold out to Ōkami continuing to come back, trying to level out the rounds. If they continue to win out their engagements, they win out their gunfights, and effectively close out the amount of bodies that that they are opposed with.
Yeah, obviously the Frost being the weird pick here. Sometimes it doesn't seem to be very effective, but what's quite interesting is they're combining it with the Mozzie, which at first seems to be an interesting idea because you can't drone the Frost Trap, but you can actually see the Frost Trap before you see the right as you see the Mozzie symbol as well. So in the end, I think those Frost Traps should get shot, But if it delays the attackers just a second, then you may be able to take advantage of that and get a free kill on that. Obviously, Ash seeing both frost traps, both should be dealt with. That I think Frost has basically lost all their utility. Shuttle there, losing his drone. That's not what you want to see. You should be more wary of those red symbols popping up in front of you. But he does send another drone in, sees the Mozzie drone that just got caught, and they seem to be ready to try and take top floor now.
Shuttle losing both of his drones at this point. He's going to get one down at this. I just said at this point twice. That's really unfortunate. Prompted putting his drone back in the same spot as we saw earlier as the Jaeger of Benji going to get a little aggressive under the bathroom. But nobody's really there to contest him. But now he is, and Shuttle is going to lose quite a bit of HP to the player going into baggage.
Yeah, there seems to be no really line of retreat for these players now. They just escaped in time, I believe, because there was someone on white window, and the only escape for them was down through 90 towards towards the site, and prompted, as I say, that gets a pick on Carnage B, immediately traded by Abunai. That's really good play from the Ash there. This comes down to the last minute and a half where they finally have control of penthouse area, and it comes down to the frags on site. Not much utility left on the attack, with 3 EMPs being the key factor. Smoke could delay this plant for a while. Let's see if they go for the plant or, as usual, whether it comes down to frags here.
And I'll let you take the. And I was waiting on you.
Look at us being the most polite casting duo ever in the history
Yeah,
of esports.
I forgot to throw it to someone there.
We were just chilling. Like, I wonder if he's gonna take it, but that was pretty much just building suspense. That's what we're gonna call it. As Ab and I now rushing into Agua, and with the last 40 seconds, I am gonna throw it to Cash so that we've both gotten this round, so we're not waiting in vain.
Absolutely. So we see Abanai get a secondary kill onto Flag. That's a smoke and a huge amount of plant denial now off. Now, we've traditionally seen these rounds go to executions based upon frags and eliminations, not to actually getting the diffuser down. Now, Abanai holding a powerful position, and Aqua making sure that no peeks from Hookah, or at least behind the reinforcement, are going to be viable. Going for a fake plant there. Abanai gets the elimination on a Kilo. Fozo quicks follow-up. Benji will fall his all up to Frost. Lehman will be a follow-up. And Abanai, I think that's a 4K to close out the round overall.
That was a really interesting round. They didn't even get the plant down. He just fakes the plant twice. I guess whatever works. The phrase "pros don't fake" isn't really applying here. But I was confused as to why he was planting behind the pool table, but it did allow him to fake the plant, wait for the peak, and get the pick there. So the attackers there doing their job really well. I think we've had one plant so far, so I wasn't expecting a full plant to go down. But it's interesting seeing these come down to gunfights, and again they take the Ella. It'll be interesting to see what the 6th pick is here. The Ella not having too much of an impact the first time, and yet Ella 6 picks off to the Pulse. Pulse on kitchen service really relies on getting those picks while the attackers are using their top-down destruction, or getting a sneaky kill as they push in somewhere random. I would like to see where Pulse plays this, because he could have a huge impact on this round if he plays his scanner right. Obviously, an early C4 pick can change the course of the game.
And I just buffered, so you guys are going to be slightly ahead. Isn't that the most unfortunate thing with YouTube clean feeds? So sad.
Yeah.
But I do want to bring something up that is quite concerning, at least if you run it back at this point. Carnage is sitting at 2 kills. And you might be saying, well, he's been playing some of the more support roles. Why does he really need to get anything? Well, I'll tell you why. It's because the first day they played on Club, it was against Revenue, he had 18 frags. He was consistently winning his gunfights. Nobody could even touch him. But now he just seems to be at the losing end of the majority of the gunfights that he's in. He's sitting at 2 and 8. Which is not necessarily the greatest, and it's even worse than Layman on Ōkami, who's sitting at 3 and 9. So one more kill and death than what Carnage is having. But if we do see Carnage wake up, I do feel that this round will be over really quickly, and he will be playing Zofia, which is one of the operators that we do see play more of a fragging role from time to time. She does have a utility usage, but she also has a pretty solid AR.
Yeah, there's almost no such thing as a support role on Coastline. You pretty much get to play all fragging ops, Thatcher being the least fragging op, but even he has the L85. It really comes down to pushing together and refragging. So if Carnage, as you say, can step it up, he can have a huge impact. Sophia probably having the most utility out of all of these attackers, with the probably breaching charges and the stuns. So hopefully she can have a big impact on the round. Carnage is a really smart player, so I'm assuming that he can make some big plays here. Lamon being taken down to half HP. I'm not sure if that was from above. Yes, it is above. IQ doing some really good work. Lamon really cannot use that pulse scanner effectively, and he's lost his C4. He now becomes just a gun with the UMP not very effective. Kilo going down, Doc down. This is an Ash v Pulse gunfight. If the Ash doesn't win this, then I'm going to have some questions.
It's the battle of the FBI, but Abonai's not going to be actually checking security. He is going to see the head, but no! Layman able to secure the pick, making up for his mistakes on the C4. And with 1 minute 30 left, Pulse is going to get a pick on Benji. The Pulse is going to be droned out, but Prompted able to get the refrag, and that'll be the Mozzie now playing on the second floor with the vertical control. Shuttle being the only player that is possibly able to contest him at this point, but he's going to be rotating down to the lobby as Layman now playing in Courtyard. And as we go into the last minute of this round, it is going to be a 3v3 HP in the favor of the attackers. But we all know that the attacking side sometimes has it harder than what the defenders do because they have to play against the clock until the diffuser is down. But we will see the vertical play coming out from Carnage now, the player that we are hoping that will pop off. And with only 3 players remaining on his team, he definitely has the chance to do it, but Prompted now on a very dangerous rotate. And he might be droned. I thought they had a drone on main stairs, but now he's just going to be able to get 1. That'll be shut off the board. He's going for 2. That'll be a double kill for Prompted. It's all up to Carnage now. So we will have to see him pop off, or we'll be going into round 11 or 12. I'm sorry, it would be round 12. And he's going to hop right into Kitchen with 27 seconds left. He's going to have to find 3 into the diffuser. He's not even going to be able to find 1, as it'll be the Smoke of Flak able to get the pick onto him with a very beautiful G2 skin. If you aren't aware, you can buy some of the Pro League skins with the Pro League Pilot program. I do believe those actually go towards the Invitational. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody in this chat or even in the Discord.
Yeah, now the prize pool is set for Invitational, so all revenue from those will go to future events. So definitely worth buying if you want to contribute to the growth of Rainbow Six Siege, and if you want to have an awesome skin on your gun. I can't say it made me any better at the game, but maybe for you guys it will.
Well, you're casting now, so you fall into the role of casters literally can't be good. It's not allowed. We are contractually obligated to be bad at the game. So I'm sorry.
We actually play with controllers. Is what we sign when we sign up for this.
Yeah, seems about right.
Our beautiful observer has said that he definitely improved with the G2 SMG11 skin. So if our observer can do it, and as long as you're not a caster, that skin will make you better. I guarantee it. I stake my entire reputation on it. All right? Nope. I actually stake all of Cash's reputation on it.
Oh, yeah, there we
go. A wiser choice, I have to say. Slight bit of buffering.
Have a good night, everyone.
I mean, just quickly before this round starts, something I wanted to note about that last round is the attackers seem to be really struggling with their drones. They seem to be losing a lot to Mozzie. And you could actually see that take place when someone flanked white stairs with people in lobby and there was no flank drone. And if there was, it wasn't being watched. These are the kind of mistakes you cannot be making if you want to make it to Challenger League. So hopefully they realize their mistake and they fix that. But you cannot be leaving your flank unprotected, especially when there's roamers still available to flank you. So if they can fix those kind of mistakes, then the attack here should win.
It's now going to be Flak going for the spawn peak, and it's going to be Fozo, the closest one to contest it. Flak will fall back. He thinks that the SMG-11 is not going to be good enough for him to complete that. It's now going to be droning in immediately caught by the Mozzie. Immediately is the word I was looking for in case you aren't aware. And I believe he just got another one in VIP. Man, they keep losing their drones, and it's detrimental to their push because they lose all of the intel.
Yeah, and unlike Mute, with Mozzie, every time you deny a drone, you also gain intel for yourself. That's why part of the reason he's played so much, he's so powerful. Having drones on defense is really important. This is going to be Jaeger versus Ash. Benji seems to have no idea that Ash is right there. He's not holding the right angle, but this could come down to reaction time between the two. Benji winning that gunfight with a fantastic kill, taking absolutely no damage somehow. I think that's a bit of a fluff by the Ash or lack of droning intel. Now it's a 3v5. This looks like it's going to be going to overtime. Vandal, though, picking up a kill onto Kilo. That is the dot gone. Prompted pushing into the VIP hall. He seems to be going for the flank, but there's no one there. Hall of Fame has a little bit of presence. The defenders are doing the right thing. They are turtling up on site, waiting for the attackers to push them. This is what you want to see. They don't want to take any risks. This is match point. If they play their crossfires correctly, they will take this to overtime.
Yeah, and we are going to be edging into the last minute and change of this round. And well, I don't have really anything to add, so I'll throw it to Cash in a bit. What I do want to emphasize is that Prompted is still underneath with the C4, and where the default plant is, he's going to be right in the position to get it. But they are going to get the Mozzie, which is probably the most important play, that if Run It Back are able to win this round, it'll be because they found out that there was a player underneath. Cash?
Absolutely. So here we see Shuttle pushing as the Jackal into office. The marks are going on out. Vandal holding an excellent crossfire. They're going to have to subsequently squeeze him in, but Prompted getting a phenomenal wall bang onto Shuttle and getting a double kill on the Vandal. It is all up to Carnage. This is match point. We most likely are going to see overtime as Ōkami wins out round 12.
This game deserved to go to overtime. These sides are playing some good siege and making some mistakes, and seems to be evening out perfectly. I hope is overtime set up correctly. We'll see here. Always a risk. Obviously, Carnage still not stepping up. He has some of the best comms I've heard, but he really needs to be getting more frags, especially on a map like Coastline, where everyone on the team has to be ready to take and win gunfights. You're seeing the Twitch, the Zofia, the Ash, the IQ, and the Buck on attack, which is something you will only ever see on a map like Coastline. So enjoy it while it lasts. The Twitch switching to the Finker for the nades, probably, and with the plentiful amount of flashes on Ash, probably, Zofia stuns, you can easily burn those ADSs for those nice grenade kills. It'll be interesting to see the setup. So far, I've only seen fairly standard setups from the defense, nothing too crazy. I'm a little curious about that barbed wire placement from Jaeger. In my opinion, it should be slightly closer to the bomb, so they can't push you behind bar quite so aggressively, whereas that can get meleeed from safety. But it probably won't have a huge impact on the round. Just if they're watching this VOD back, maybe move that a bit closer to the bomb. Shuttle, like this Mozzie play has been superb from both teams. I think Mozzie has been the most influential operator from both teams. With Fozzo on the LMG with Finker, we're going to see if that impacts the round. We saw a little bit last time Finker was run, but to me it's just exciting to see us Finker in competitive play outside of Latin America.
Yeah, and as we go into this round, it'll be Ōkami on the attack, which is something that we have seen both teams do very solid both ways. And right now, Prod is recognizing you, Brycer, so you're already getting quite the chat reception. So thank you for joining us. I want to shout you out. And I also want to take offense. Ted Meister never screws anything up. This production team has never gotten a thing wrong ever. We are physically incapable of doing such a thing. I'll tell you that right now. Cash and I have never been wrong. Brycer, now that you're part of this team, you'll never be wrong either. Welcome to the team.
That will help my coaching, being never wrong.
Yeah, that's why normally part of the contract is that you're not allowed to coach if you're a caster, because casters can't be wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously, IQ below here, she's going to clear out a ton of utility. The ADSs, if you can get rid of the ADSs, suddenly those nades become really powerful. Fozzo being downed. If Lamon had realized that, then it's probably a free nade kill, but Fozzo gets away free. One of the advantages of Doc is that if you make a mistake, you can sometimes get a second chance, which he definitely got there. I just want to see Shuttle do some crazy things with Mozzie again. It's been one of the most impressive things seeing him on Mozzie. And so far, it seems like he's picked up some drones, and he's not yet picked up another drone there. If he can use these drones effectively, he can definitely have a huge impact on this round. Benji taking out Shuttle. I'm slightly delayed, so Cash, if you want to take over for me for a bit.
Absolutely. Prompted as Finka is going to be aggressively pushing Aquarium Hall here. However, Doc will fall. That's Fozzo not getting elimination on his second chance at life as he did pick himself up. Carnage has the ability to pop off here as he's had, unfortunately, not a great game in terms of eliminations, but he's going to be holding an aggressive angle behind Bomb itself. He's got the SMG-12 in hand. Sorry, 11. Gets one. Gets, I want to say two. Now it's two. Carnage popping off with a double kill. That is diffuser no longer in hands of the attackers. Quickly, Valkyrie's going to have a follow-up kill. Kilo's in sight. Will force us into a 1v1, but run it back will close out the round.
I just want to
Carnage.
apologize to Ōkami at that point. That loss is all on me. I wrote down Ōkami won that round, and therefore, run it back obviously did, because there's also
Caster
such thing
curse.
as caster curse. Casters are never wrong. We just caster curse what we say. All right.
Exactly. That's
Keep
the point.
keep
And
that in mind,
obviously,
Bryce, or you can use that in the future. That's not
I
trademark.
definitely will. Maybe I wish I could cast my own games. Carnage, obviously, with a really important double kill there. Nice to see him step up. Finally, he's now on par with Lamon, both 4 kills each. Now, Lamon gets to play the Mozzie, though. So if he can do a good job with Mozzie, it would be a beautiful thing to see. Kilo and Prompted on the 2 ACOGs again. But the best counter to Rook and Doc is probably Blackbeard, because it takes a lot to break a shield with those low damage guns of the MP5. The reason you take them is to get those long range headshots, which against a Blackbeard is rather difficult. So I would love to see an engagement between Fozzo and either of the French defenders. Obviously, going to the bar site, we're going to see an interesting. This wasn't their preferred site before, so they've obviously seen their weakness in the attack. Only running those 2 C4s can be great to deny the vertical play. I wonder how strong a hold they're going to play above, because if they can hold above for a while, this round becomes nigh impossible to win. But if you can clear out the players behind Sunrise Bar, the plant on couches is rather free. Mozzie getting another drone there. I think I've seen more Mozzie drones be caught in this game than I have ever before, which is obviously aiding the defense a lot, which is why we're seeing these 4-2 defensive splits.
Yeah, and with I guess I can't really. That's my normal intro as a caster, just to say the time, because you can pretty much do whatever you want. But as soon as the rounds start, it doesn't really work as well as it normally does. So I guess I'm just now nerfed as a caster because I can't do beginning round intros. But now that I've wasted enough time explaining what I'm doing, we are going to have 30 seconds out of this round, and it's going to be a really silent 30 seconds. It's just going to be the 2 teams droning. And so what we're going to be seeing now is a really interesting site pick, because normally we see Hookah being the primary site, but when it counts the most, we're going to be seeing it go to a double bar, which is really interesting. Do either of you have any points on that?
I mean, personally, double bar is probably the 3rd best site. Penthouse is good for a one-off pick, but never used regularly. But it's if the attackers know how to attack and can get above control, it's really hard to defend. Because you can either plant behind blue bar with lobby control, or you can plant on couches in Sunrise with above control. So you have lots of options. A run out here by Prompted, missing so many shots. He takes Blackbeard down to 1 HP, but doesn't manage to finish the kill. That is the power of Blackbeard. He must have hit 2 or 3 headshots there and didn't get the kill because of that Blackbeard shield. If Blackbeard helps win this round, he's really going to be regretting that.
Fozzo doesn't lose those. I'll tell you that right now. Or maybe it was just the Blackbeard. At which point you could call for the Blackbeard nerf, but Blackbeard's pretty much useless at this point. And it's going to be actually the shots all the way from main lobby, as it's going to be Layman getting to pick on a shuttle off the screen. And it's going to be another frag going the other way, as Abonai securing the second for this round. It's going to be up to Layman now to hold this second floor. And it's now the site executes in a little bit more of a plausibility now that they have man advantage, and Vandal now going to be moving into security to try to clear this lobby a bit more, as Fozzo, with very little HP, going to be contesting the Mozzie, who is playing on the top floor.
Absolutely. And we are in the last minute of the round. Keep in mind, this is overtime match point. Carnage will pick up another elimination, and it's now a 2v4 in the way of the attackers. Now, both operators are sitting at significantly low HP. They will lose their one-on-one engagements if it boils down to the fact. Flak does have his Nitro Cell in his opposition to be able to use save for an execution denial, but will lose the fight. It's Fozzo on 1 HP as Blackbeard closing that engagement on down. It is now a 1v4 all up to Flak. He's got the SMG-12 in hand. He sees the body continuously peeking on from office. Vandal putting down the diffuser. It will go uncontested. He does not have the arm to yeet that Nitro Cell on over. I say that. He tosses it. Unfortunately unsuccessful. And the vertical play will win out the round. Run it back. Will close out Coastline.
Cash, I want you to cast my life, bro. You're really hype.
Exactly. I could not contain my gasp when Blackbeard won that fight. He wasn't looking at Jaeger. Jaeger peeks up, and that shot must have been incredible. Well, it was incredibly good.
Incredibly
Um,
incredible. Brilliant
a,
casting from Brycer.
obviously, I don't do this full time, um, but
You
what
could
an
have fooled me.
incredible match! So
Yeah.
many frags, so many mistakes, but like fun mistakes. I had a blast casting it.
Yeah, and Shuttle is just, he's on fire right now. But unfortunately, that is going to be us for tonight. And I'm going to run through
Thank you, boys.
all of these. I have a big production team with me tonight. I have the one and only Ted Meister on the observation. He has been killing it, and he has continued to kill it. That was his voice. He has a silky smooth voice. Could be a caster if he felt so inclined. But also on the team tonight, joining us as a special guest is Brycer. Thank you for joining us, my guy.
No problem. It was a ton of fun.
And of course, now to the big two. It's going to be Intrinsic. Nah, he's okay, I guess. But Cash! The one and only Cash. Thanks for joining me, man. Do you have anything to say?
I do want to give a huge shout out to the production team, of course, Headmeister. Broadcasters do not get enough love, especially as to how much work they put into it. It's more than us because they actually need to pay so much thorough attention to every single angle. Frankly, I do not have the patience or the mindset to do so. Brycer, it's an absolute pleasure meeting you and casting with you. This is my first 3-person cast. I don't know if I'll ever encounter another one, but huge kudos to both teams. I mean, boiling out to an 8-6 and really just making us sound like we are at the invitationals themselves. Nothing but valiant efforts from both sides. We've continued to cast these teams over the past few days, and it's been nothing but a worthwhile experience. So, thank you so much for having me, and I appreciate the opportunity.
It was brilliant. This was a really good matchup. But that'll be it for us for the. Actually, this will be it for anybody for the open qualifiers. We will now go to the closed qualifiers. Both of these teams, I'm pretty sure, are secured for it. I can check for you guys, but I'm sure we'll be a-okay. I can actually probably check that. Ōkami was sitting in 8th place coming into this last qualifier, so they are secured. They are in green on Liquipedia. You can go over there and check that if you feel so inclined. But that'll be it for us. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Thanks for the huge hosts. I'm going to stop streaming now, but I will try to see if anybody else is still streaming the quals, and if not, you'll just end, and this will be the last match of the entire qualifiers. But thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I have been Intrinsic, and we'll see you next time.